All right, so I'm usually, when I get my steaks and get my meat, I usually got it already how I want it, right? My ribeye, whatever, it's already done. I don't usually look at the meat before it gets to me like that. No. So can you talk me through what we have here, what's going on?
Yeah, so Volk, we got a big forequarter here. So this one here comes off a very special animal. It's called a Rone. There's only a few of them in the country. There's about 4 or 5 restaurants that get them in Australia. I think 1 overseas. You have a look at this one here. It's got the markings of, Blackmore is the farmer. It's a female. Yeah, this one's a pretty healthy animal. You can see the yellow fat on it. That yellow fat means it's had a good amount of grass.
The colouring of it then,
Yeah, so if you have a look here, this is a Wagyu.
Okay, yeah.
So the Wagyu's got the really white fat. So it's sort of pretty heavy on grain finish. And then this one here is a Rone. I can tell by looking at it because of the yellowness on the fat. So a lot of grass fed. And because it's a really old animal, you'll see that all the chlorophyll that comes out through the grass goes into the fat. So yeah, we got this big bit here. So if you have a look here, this bit here is the brisket. So it sits over the top. Great for braising. We've got that beautiful big fat coverage over the top of it and nice marbling. And then that brisket there, you've got a little skirt here. So this skirt is magnificent. So we'll take this skirt off this afternoon and start taking it off, because if I let it sit there too much, the dry aging can't dry age for too much. There's not enough coverage on it.
Okay, yeah.
This part here, the very famous rib. So I don't know if you can get out there and have a look.
I'm not even going to try.
Yeah. us short asses will stay down here. So this here is the rib. You can see here you've got the bones. These are called the feather bones on the front of it.
The feather bones.
Feather bones. And then that'll be the eye of the rib there.
Yeah.
So we'll cut that soon, about here. So we'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 pins. So that's the big ribs that you see. So those ribs will cut from there. So from there to there, we've got our ribeye. See, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pins. So we'll put a knife through here. We'll go up there. We'll come through here with the saw. So that bit there is our chuck. This bit here is our rib. Got our skirt that we talked about. We've got our brisket here. And then this part here, we've got our sort of front of our shoulder, bits that sit under in here. They're great. The Denver sits in there, and so we'll try and muster up a Denver a bit later if we can. So if you can imagine, that connects to that bit there. So that bit there sits.
Wow. Got some kilos of meat in here.
Oh yeah. So that'll sit under there, like that. Here we go, playing Jenga. That bit there moves on to this bit here, our shell loin or a sirloin. So we'll cut one of these off and have one of these for dinner. So Volk's gonna jump on the bandsaw. Hope he doesn't lose a finger, because I'd hate to take the champ out with a bandsaw.
So if I lose a finger,
it's my fault.
You'll know why, but I believe you could almost say it's worth it.
So that bit there, if you can imagine that connects up to this part here. So that's the next part that comes up. So that goes onto there, then the leg goes onto that. It's a big animal. Yeah.
Seems like you're taking us through quite a few different sorts of cuts.
Yeah. So
are these different beasts as well?
These are different animals here. So that one we're looking at was a Rone, very special animal, very rare. As I said, there's probably about 15 of them at a time in the country being grown.
Oh, okay.
Not many, and only sort of 2 or 3 restaurants get that animal in Australia. So very lucky that we get one. Wow. This one here is a bit more common. When I say common, I shouldn't undersell what it is. But this one here comes from a Hereford animal down out of Victoria. We put a bit of age on them, not too much, and then these will go into our sirloins that we sell a lot of in the restaurant. So that's a whole sirloin.
You know, I'm a Hereford guy.
You got some?
I've got Herefords, yeah.
Well, mate, bring one in here. We can, mate, if you want to hang it, plenty of room.
Oh, we might have to do something like that. That could be a good video right there. Get one of my own cows. Man, the worst part is with names. There is a couple of them that I don't really know the names of. We might have to bring one of them in here.
So this one here is our Speckled Park. So this is a Canadian breed, quite new to Australia. You'll start seeing it come onto menus in restaurants a little bit more over the next couple of years.
Oh, okay.
We sort of trialled this about 7 years ago. I loved it, but they weren't ready to go into mass production. They're just about ready. So we're going to be trying one of these today. So
you can get in first.
Very rare. Not
very rare.
Have it. I think there's only one other restaurant I know in Sydney that's serving it.
20 Chapel Street can get you sorted before it all starts happening. Just saying, 20 Chapel, all right.
And then we've got the ants pants down here. So that's the Wagyu, that's the David Blackmore full
there we
blood.
go.
You can't get a better steak than that in Australia. It's just.
So you're saying
there's no competition.
Rolls Royce?
That's the Rolls Royce. It doesn't even enter competitions anymore because it'd be like winning all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can't get a better steak
So it's
than
in
that.
a league of its own.
Yep.
So that'll be the best steak in the world, you're saying?
In my opinion, yes.
Yeah, well, because Australia has the best steak, we told
Yeah.
you. And you know, look, it ain't a bias. I've talked to Americans, I've talked to whoever, I've talked to everyone, and they all say the same thing.
So we make the tallow out of all the fat that comes off the animals. We boil it down, goes into tallow, we paint these and we'll just age them. Get a little bit of a funk to them, a little bit of blue cheesiness.
Okay, yeah.
Not too much. I'm not a really big fan of going too far.
How long till it starts getting that sort of, you reckon?
So these will leave for a little bit longer. We'll get them to about 40 days. That's, that's getting close now. So, yeah, that's ideal. 40 to 60. After 60, I don't think it does the meat any benefit. I think it just starts to taste more cheesy and more funky.
And you obviously have to be into that.
Yeah, and
So
some people love
might
it.
prefer that.
Yeah,
right?
and that's their decision. You know, some people like a mild beer, some people like a full strength beer.
Yeah,
You know, some people like a bourbon, some people like, a Canadian sort of whiskey. So everyone's got their own decisions to make with that. Me, I like mine in about 40 days, 40 to 60. Other people love like 100, 200. I think if we go with a nice sort of mix of about 4 or 5 steaks, see the different textures, different flavors from the different animals, that's a really good way to get a good knowledge of Australian steak.
There you go. Going to get all the knowledge from an Australian steak, all the different types of cuts, and we'll tell you all about it along the process. Well, he will anyway, because I'm listening as well, for me as well.
You'll be cooking though.
I'll be cooking. I'm going to be able to cook some of this. I'm looking forward to it.
So you can see the bone marrow in there.
Yep.
That'll come out. Yeah, so we'll barbecue this up later. This is the Speckled Park, the Canadian breed that's pretty
Speckled Park.
pretty rare. So you can see the scapular bone there. So because it's aged, it's hard. You'll see once we trim this up, you'll see it takes a really sort of classic form. This little bit in here, this little steak here, is delicious.
All right.
Yeah, so that little steak there is one of the best bits you'll have. You can see the marbling through it.
Yeah, man.
We'll throw that on the barbie later. It's the oyster blade.
Oyster blade.
Yeah, so when you take them out,
heard of that.
they're about that long.
Okay.
So they come out about like there, and then you have to take all the sinew that runs through is very hard. You can't really eat it. So back in the day, people would just braise the whole thing, but now really talented sort of chefs will
I'll go along that.
go along here really fine, like a scalpel. You don't want to go too quickly or too fast or too far in because it changes direction.
Oh, okay. Well, looks like you're doing a good job of that.
See, so there I've just cut through it.
Yep.
See there?
Yep.
Tiny little bit there. Yeah, if I was operating on someone, I would have just cut through them.
And then it just sort of goes into nothing, huh?
Yeah. Like that.
Speckled Park, so that's the one in Canada, isn't it? Canada?
Canada, yeah. This one here is Hereford.
Hereford, there we go. Boom.
And then here,
That'll cut.
but yeah, and then after you get your steaks like that, then we take them over to our board.
All right, we're gonna go in here. I'm gonna go across here.
That's it.
There you go.
Now pull this out, and we have to take off all that bone. And then we're going to trim up a little bit of the fat, and there's a little bit of sinew that sits at the top of it. And if you leave it on when you cook it, it's not great. Go. Little tidy. Looks pretty good, so we'll just turn it around at a 90-degree angle. That's it, and get a good crust going. So then while that's on, now we can finish up those ones.
All right. And the same.
Yep.
All right, yep. And yeah. Here?
Perfect.
That's how the professionals work it, you know, when to me, I do a couple of steaks. Now, you know what, in saying that, whenever I went to houses, parties, or whatever it is, I would always have, everyone would always be like, oh, do you want to cook? So I would end up just taking over the barbecues for everyone.
All right.
So I'm used to doing a heap of steaks, but not premium steaks like that.
We've just moved that up there. Soon, after that gets across,
Okay,
we
yeah.
use the back of our fire to ceiling, middle of our fire, and then the front of our fire.
All right.
Okay, so we've just turned those steaks. So now we've got our steaks sort of just nicely resting, or just not getting as much color. So these ones here, Volk, we're going to try and get in this little zone here.
Yep.
So Denver's on. Grab your tongs. Middle in between the two middle bars. That's it.
What do you reckon about that?
Perfect.
Everyone's good medium rare, right? Yeah.
Yeah. These ones you don't cook medium rare, you cook through.
Okay, yep.
Because there's connective tissue in them. They're not really nice if they're a bit chewy.
Yep.
Like,
So
you want to
render-
cook them through. You want to render some of
more.
them. Yeah.
Okay.
What we're going to do now is give them a little bit of time
Get the fat cap or get that cap
on that fat. Yeah.
Nice.
You can see that crust that's on there now.
Yeah, yeah.
So we start off hot and then we bring it down.
Yeah, man.
Drinking beer, watching the
Yeah.
The green sauce there is a fermented jalapeno hot sauce. So we
Okay, yeah.
4 months. The red one's like our version of gochujang, like a Korean style barbecue sauce. Try the meat on its own. I always suggest trying the meat on its own. Then after that, you try it with a little bit of lemon and then start introducing some condiments. So we've got the Denver here, that's Wagyu. We've got the oyster blade that comes off the special Rone. We've got the Speckled Park Ribeye down there. These are a Hereford, and then that's the, oh no, sorry, these are the Wagyu, and that's the Hereford there.
Hereford.
Yeah, so get in there. And then this one, gents, is the skirt. So it's got a bit more texture. Sort of, as I said, it's like chewing bubble gum. And every time you chew into it, the flavor comes out and you get a big hit of beef in your mouth.
Hey, that's like one.
That is good. It's usually I think the very chewy of all of them.
Yeah.
Along with the skirt, but yeah, that one.
This is fantastic.
So that's what
That's
I was gonna say. I actually didn't mind the meat flavor in that one. But I mean, if you could get the tenderness and that of this with that meat flavor, I reckon I'd love that.
If you had this without having any of these other ones, you'd think that was
Yeah.
spectacular.
When I look at steak, a lot of times you're just going to go tenderness and all that sort of stuff. But then the last year or so, I've really tried to take in the flavour of the meats and that. So I've got a lot of different flavours here, which I love. The flavour and the tenderness from the Denver. I actually love the skirts steak. Obviously, it's going to be that little bit more, it's not going to be as tender. You don't have the, it's not going to fall apart like it will, but I mean, the fact that you could chew and get some of the flavour, had very nice flavour in that. More of a meaty type of cut, the Hereford. I might have a bias because I got Hereford cows at my farm. So so I love the flavour of the meat there. It's really like a meaty flavour, which I got. Then you had the Wagyu, which was just, obviously you get that fat going straight through all the meat. So you get and I love fat. You get the salty fat that's rendered all through the meat, so you're getting a lot of that. This one is a Canadian one I never had before, and I felt like I got a different flavour with that one. Great, tender, and it was different. I actually really didn't mind that one. I can't pick a favourite.
The dipper, the oyster blade, and then the Wagyu are definitely my top three. I've never had oyster blade or a flat iron. In the States, flat iron is like a shit steak. It's like what you get at Waffle House or something like that. This is not that. I mean, I'm just hearing how like they use a scalpel to cut it and get it out of there. That's highly skilled. So this is actually probably my favorite one today, but I've eaten probably 100 Denver steaks in my life. So like I love the Denver steak. I'm always gonna love Wagyu, like just a real fatty Wagyu.
Heard you say you've been having a lot of steak since you've been in Australia.
So we, yeah, I mean, we literally down at the bottom of the hotel, there's a place called Woodcut. We went to Bistecca last night, and we've ate at Woodcut probably three or four nights since we've been here. I order my butcher gets some Australian Wagyu all the time. If we're not doing like Japanese 8-5, we're getting it from Australia. So I don't think if you know anything about meat or steaks, you know this is one of the top places to get it in the world. I mean, if you're not getting it from Japan, this is where you want to get it from, for sure.
I don't know. I'm just glad that we got to have a few different ones because, again, with the Wagyu and a lot of flavor, a lot of fats, but you got to mix it up. Unreal, mate. It's funny because I've always, with the steak, I was saying to a couple of them in there, it used to just be tenderness. Well, yeah, like, you know, Wagyu and tenderness, like that's all I'd really know the difference about. But now that I'm doing a lot more and I'm lucky enough to have guys like yourself really explain and get me to understand more, and I've been lucky enough to try so many different of styles of meat, just getting the flavors of each one, and I'm really starting to get that, and I felt like I felt different, or tasted different flavors in a few of them, like all the different textures, flavors and tendernesses, is everything. It was all of them. I really couldn't. He wanted me to, you weren't there for that, but he asked me, what's your favorite? And I just rambled on, telling him everything I liked about it. I couldn't give a actual
it's like saying
answer.
a favorite child.
But mate, honestly, I really appreciate it. I know you took us right through and gave us a good understanding of everything, how it's done. Really appreciate it. If you guys want a good steak, there it is. You know, you already know, you got to see it. It ain't no secret. You got to look at what we just did there, and you know, you can obviously see how great that was. So again, I really appreciate it.
Mate,
thank you so much.
Always a pleasure, Vol.
Anything else you wanted to say? I know,
no, it's you know, when you say the different steaks, like, you know, if someone says, what's your favorite color? It's like, well, you know, sometimes I like blue in there, sometimes I like gray. Sometimes, you know, and then with steak, you shouldn't have a favorite. You should just appreciate all of them have their own little nuances.
Yeah, exactly.
And as you get better in, your knowledge gets better, you'll understand those nuances of.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like how good was that skirt steak?
Yeah,
and the chewing of it.
Mate, unreal. And
mate.
I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved it. When you said, like, maybe you're saying, I'm like, hey, cool, I like the idea of that, sounds good. And I did it, and then I got to actually experience that. I didn't force it on myself.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
Mate.
I got exactly
Mate, I reckon I've done my job well, because I think you know a bit
did.
more now about steak.
Yeah, mate, I think you're right.
Cory Costelloe on Instagram, and 20 Chapel Restaurant in Marrickville.
All right, so there you have it. We out. Another great steak adventure for yous. I know you loved it just as much as me. So till next time, love yous, and I'll leave yous.